Oh, I had my mic muted. Welcome to Monza. This is a Porsche Cup for eSeniors. If you're new to eSeniors, if you stumble on us here, it's an organization of drivers that are 50 plus years old. And we race GT4, Porsche Cup, and GT3. I'm going to post a link if you're interested for more information. Post a link in the chat. But let's talk about Monza. It's one of the all-time classics. It's the Temple of Speed, it's called. It was opened in 1928. Originally, it was much longer than what it is today. Today we have, it's 5.7 kilometers. That's 3.6 miles, has 11 turns. And they had this famous banking in the early days, and into actually the last race with the banking was 1969. But today we're doing Porsche Cup, and we see the standings here. Derek has been dominating. Look at that. He's been winning the last 5 races, and followed by Chris Bourne that had been P2 the last 5 races. And Thomas have been P4 the last 3 races. And behind in P4 in the championship, we have Jeremy, P5 the last 2. And Aaron Shannon was P7. And if I look at, let's see, remind myself who was P3. Terry Howard did the P3 actually. He's been, he attended the first 3 races. And then didn't start the 2 races, and then the last race he did P3 as well. So he's been very, very consistent as well. Qualifying have started. So let's switch on the game stream. Let me switch things around, get on the stream. There's the stream. And let me get my windows in order so I can see what's going on. It's Derek Bird out on track, so it's certainly going to be Derek Bird and Chris Bourne that this race going to happen. That's going to be the talking point. So, but you never know. This is Monza, anything can happen, certainly in turn 1. We're not that many people, we're 10. I'm glad to see Jonathan Wood on here. He's been on the injured list for quite a while, so I'll be happy to see if he's racing today. That would be great. And tomorrow we're doing the split. We have Group 2 and Group 1. There won't be any broadcast of Group 2. I normally do that, but I will not be able to do that tomorrow because of an event I have to attend. So, but Group 1 will be broadcasted by Mike Maleski at 1:30 Central US time. So look out for that. Hope you can hear me all right, and that you can hear the track where it needs to be heard. I said I wanted to put a link to eSeniors just for information if someone comes by here and wonder what's going on. That's eSeniors. Also, if you want to follow along on the timing, a little bit more detailed timing, you can do that on Pitwall. Follow us there, and we broadcast on both Twitch and on YouTube. So whatever is your preference. Let's see when we start to get some something on the board. Time-wise, I myself have been practicing for doing a endurance race tomorrow. It's a European time. So it's I'm gonna be on very early, 7 o'clock is my spot race. I'm gonna stream that on my channel. Anyone interested to join that? So So it's a 15-minute qualifying. It's a 40 I mean race. There is no pit stop. Just straight up action. I'm gonna change my audio a little bit in my ears. There we go. So hope everyone is doing great. Hey, Mr. McKay, joining us on Twitch. It's awesome. Twitch is a good streaming platform. Seems to have a better quality than YouTube. So we'll see when we get someone on the board, and that's Mr. Bird. We got him on the board now. Then we have Panov. Let's follow Chris Bourne here from his cockpit. He's just ending his lap. And Jonathan comes in, good time as well. Provisional P1 right now. So we're gonna follow Chris Bourne around. So coming down to Variante del Rettifilio. See how he's doing there. Just a hard straight braking and try to get through there. Coming around Curva Biasono, or also called Curva Grande. Just such a nice high-speed track. Coming into Variante della Roggia. Don't get too fat on the curbs there, that's gonna punish you. And then the two Curva di Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. Oh, got a little wobbly there. He's up on his time though. He lost a lot of time there. But the time is on now. He's not. It's not really going to put him in the top. But we follow him coming in through Variante Ascari. Such a wonderful experience to go through here once you hit it right. And Curva Parabolica. Need to have the right braking point and hit the two apexes here. You need to kind of be tight there like he was and just come out here. Just maximize the speed out on the straight. So we're gonna go P4 for Chris. Still warming up. It takes a little bit to warm up the tires here, I'm sure. Let's see who else to look at. Who is on the run? So Jonathan is actually in P4. I'm sorry, P1. 150.1. So he's actually he's 3/10 ahead of Derek. It's pretty impressive. I'm gonna look here and see. I don't think Jonathan have done any races. He did the first race and he placed P13. Then he's been on the injured list, so there he is. It's Jonathan. So I hope he's feeling all right and he's gonna be able to complete it. Terry Howard, that was P3 last race. It's good to see. He's up 0.4 on his time right now. That's gonna push him up maybe P4. No, incorrect. He needs to do better than that. He's 1 second behind P4, so he needs to do better. So 10 cars on track today. Hopefully we're gonna have more people driving this in the next season. People are a little bit scared of the Porsche. Here he comes in there, clocking a time, but he's not improving. He's in still P7 or P5. Jonathan still doing good, but Chris Bourne is now in P2, so he has Chris here have climbed up a little bit. Derek is not really on a lap that's gonna do anything for him. So we have Joe racing, Joe Bikavak. We haven't seen him for a while. Yeah, he hasn't been running the last 3 races. There's Joe, following for a little bit. So he has not been racing for the last 3 races. The last race was Silverstone, where we then saw Derek as the winner, Chris Bourne as P4, and Terry Howard as P3. And I mentioned earlier, if there are any new listeners here, that Derek has won the 5 last races, and that Chris Bourne have been P2 the 5 last. So really dominating performance in the top. And here we have Jonathan. So you would think, you start to wonder if Jonathan would have been healthy through the season. And we're halfway now, or actually past halfway. We have 12 races in the season. If Jonathan would have been really, probably a top contender, absolutely. Oh, Jonathan goes off. Chris Bourne is now 2 tenths after Jonathan. It's interesting, Monza is such a high-speed track, and here we have cars with equal performance. So it's really all about finding the lines and just have your car set up to be able to do the late braking you need to do just to get an advantage here. So it's all about the driving. Let's look at Jeremy for a little bit. He has a silver Porsche looking good. He is 1.9 seconds behind the top spot, so he needs to do some work. His time right now is not enough to advance him from the P7 where he sits. Looking at the timing board, see who else is on the run. Look at Pornoff a little bit. It's not on a valid lap actually. Shannon coming through in his in the red colors, and maybe for red and white for Canada. He's just sitting in P10 right now. Where is he in championship? He's actually P5 in the championship. He had a mixed performance. He had a P3 in race number 5. That was Imola, I think. And before that, he's been P7 and P6, and P7 in the last race. So I think he can do a better performance. Torrance is up 0.6. And he's 3 seconds from the top spot. Torrance, where is he in the championship? What has been his performance? Torrance. Kevin Torrance, he was P6. Silverstone, P7 the race before. So he's kind of in the second half of the grid, so to speak, in the results. Jonathan keeps the top spot. Let's follow Torrance here. He's up 0.6. That would that wouldn't really. He needs to. He's 1.2 seconds behind the car in front. So this would just Maybe get him a little bit closer. He's up almost a second now. He's come through. Let's see what he clocks. Yeah, it doesn't improve the position, but he did a 1:42.3 and 1:42.0 is Jeremy in front of him. Just a minute and a half left. And it doesn't look like Chris can do something about Jonathan. Is he gonna be able to do one more lap? We will see. All right, so this is probably his last chance to get Jonathan. Let's do the cockpit cam. Jonathan is also out on track, and he's improving. So we'll see how this judges out. Oh, that wasn't good. Went a little bit. He's losing a lot of time now. He's 2/10 behind Jonathan. Derek has not performed. He's in P4. So we might see another podium than what we are used to. Honov right now, provisional P3. Oh, that's no. Abandoning his lap. Let's flip over to Derek. He's just finishing, so he's not going to improve position. Yeah, he's not going to improve position on this. So Jonathan. No, what's this? On off. Jonathan, did he get into? That was strange. Derek come in P3 here, or P2 all of a sudden. Very strange. Maybe there was, yeah, I don't know what happened. But yeah, there we have the grid. Jonathan, P1. Derek next to him, then Chris Bourne and Ponoff. That's the two first rows. Then we have Howard, Renier, Aerobus, Torrance, Bekavak, and Shannon. So there we have it. Let's go to the track walk. Track walk at Monza. Temple of Speed. Open 1928. Pretty cool. So here's the start. Coming down into the first chicane, Variante Rettifiglio, coming through Curva Biasonno. And then the second chicane, Variante della Roggia, coming through the Curva di Lesmo. And then we have a little, that's actually a turn right there, Curva del Seraglio, and Variante Ascari, that turn 1, 8, 9, and 10. Coming out of that, full force into Curva Parabolica. That's turn 11, that's the last turn, and we have completed this. And the best time today was 1:51.55 by Jonathan, who is back from his convalescence. Great to see that. He has been missed. We're super happy to see him. Also want to thank everyone for the giving activity we did Saturday. Giving money for Turkey. Please continue to do that. Great need over there. It's unbelievable. I have a neighbor from Turkey, and he's telling me what's going on over there. So it's pretty devastating. Okay. I think we are about ready to drive. Not really ready. It's kind of in the countdown here. Here we go. In the right view mode. Let's look at the grid. Jonathan. That's a woodpecker, right? Derek Bird next to him. And I completely missed that he was on the... I apologize because I just don't know what happened there. He just came from nowhere. I should have known. Chris Bourne and then Ponov. So this is going to be interesting. These two guys next to each other. That could be firework. Howard and Thomas. And then we have Jeremy. And Torrance. Shannon. And Bekavak. Joe Bekavak. Let's get on the helicam. Public is excited to watch the race. We can see that. Hey, Philip. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Radislav. Nice to see you here. Not so full on the track. 10 cars. I think it's going to be fun. As we see, Jonathan Wood is back. How about that? And he's really making a mark in this race. By taking the pole. So he's going to have inside track coming into P1, turn 1. So I hope that's going to be a nice part of the race, the first turn. So just organizing my windows. Here we go. So my money is still on Bird, I think, because, Jonathan, he has an injury, so it might be that starts to complicate things for him. Chris sort of going to be up there. Ponov is a little bit more of a dark horse, because Derek and Bourne are so consistent. Let's see what happens here. Derek has a little advantage coming in, but he's... Jonathan is really braking late, but he's not able to keep that, so he's taking the first spot by that, and he has to surrender that back because that was not really kosher. Let's see what goes on in the back. Doesn't seem like there's been that much. Hasn't been any accidents, which is good to see. Come through there. Gonna be interesting to see Jonathan, if he's going to surrender that position, because he went out of bounds to do his, just to avoid complete disaster. Oh, very close racing here. We are Chris Bourne, Bird and Howard. Howard goes wide, gets a little bit slippery there out on the AstroTurf. Chris Bourne have the advantage in front of Derek. Howard is putting pressure on Bird. Ponov a little bit further back, but certainly part of that little gang that comes up behind Bourne. Oh, there we go. Oh, someone went really hard there. That was Bourne. And he's skipping the chicane and he's getting an advantage. Unbelievable. Oh, that was interesting. Oh, now Howard is up on Bourne. Bourne have the inside. A lot of action. Look, Jonathan is cruising there in front. I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. Howard P2. Derek Bird P3. P4 and Ponov P5. Howard looking a little bit on the inside. It's not... Oh, there goes Derek. He has to really push on the brakes. So now we have a little concertina effect with Bird just pushing behind Howard. Pornoff is very patient behind. Is he gonna make a move here, Derek? Coming into the chicane? No, he's not. Taking it easy. Derek comes through right. Oh, Howard went hard on the humps there, and he lost to Derek. Now Pornoff is all over him. Can't do any mistake here. It's very easy to get a little bit greedy and you go up on those curbs. Look like Pornoff had to check out. Oh, oversteer on Howard. Howard goes off. No contact. He sits still there just to make sure everyone can pass him. So there's the last car passing. So he lost the position. So we have Derek and Chris. And then Jonathan. Jonathan is 4 seconds ahead. I think we need to do an adjustment there, or he will actually run the race and we have to fix that afterwards, because he gained an advantage there that he should not have had. The field spreads out a little bit. We have Thomas is catching up on Pornoff. Howard is all the way in the back just right now, coming into the parabolic gap. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Get the YouTube gods on our side so more people find us. Yeah, Derek and Chris. Normally we see Derek ahead of Chris, but that's not what we're seeing today. I'm sure that's gonna change. Derek gonna push all he can. So Derek is starting to catch up a little bit with Chris, but Chris is also improving his pace a little bit compared to... and I see that Jonathan and Chris actually have exactly the same time, fastest time, 1:51.302 on both of them. Unbelievable. Exactly the same time. So now we're really spreading out the field. Howard is way in the back. Then we have Bikavak coming through Parabolica. So is Torrance. Arobas, P6, P7, Thomas. Pornoff, P4. Derek. And Chris. And Jonathan. So yeah, interesting to see. I think he's probably gonna adjust his position somehow. Yeah, I won't harp on that. We'll see what happens. So right now, Jonathan is the fastest. His last lap. Chris was a little bit slower his last lap. So as you know probably by now, if my little dog Timmy is starting to bark, I'm gonna put this graphic on and I'm gonna mute myself. Hasn't happened yet. I had him in my lap here before the broadcast, so I would have hoped he would have joined me here to enjoy the broadcast and I could have showed him on camera. But no, he's not here. We'll see if he comes visiting the broadcast booth. Following Derek here a little bit. So I read the history on Monza on Wikipedia, and it has a very accident-filled history. You know, the maiden race was 1922, and you can imagine the cars they had back there. So in 1928, they had a really, really bad accident, and the driver Emilio Materazzi died, and 27 spectators at the Italian Grand Prix 1928. That's unimaginable. So they have done a lot of changes on this, on this track over the year to make it safer, and certainly this big. They had a high-speed oval of the thing, and Formula One used to have like a 10-kilometer high-speed track in the 50s, late 50s and early 60s. So, and then there was another, let's see, I'm looking here, and they had another accident. There was also a lot of spectators that got killed. So, yeah, they've been really pushing the envelope when it comes to this track and the speed that you could get here. Right now in the current configuration, it's probably one of the safer layouts. 1961, yeah, that's what I was looking for. The Wolfgang von Tripp, he died with a collision with Jim Clark. And von Tripp's car was launched airborne into the barriers at Parabolica. That was 1961. So Wolfgang died, and so did 15 spectators. Can you imagine? And I remember my first Formula One race that I watched live as a young boy in Sweden. It was... I think it was 1978, it was. And it was Ronnie Peterson, the Swedish race car driver, and he had a horrible accident after the start. And this was all live broadcasted on TV, and it was horrible scenes when they pulled him out of the car, and eventually he died in the hospital. So yeah, a lot of accidents here at Monza, Temple of Speed. So we are safe here though, because we're doing sim racing, so it doesn't hurt so much. Even though you can have injuries, like Jonathan Wood have had problems with his elbows. But we're glad to see him on track. Right now we follow Derek, see if he can... he's lapping faster than Chris. I think he's definitely catching him. So that's what we need to look at. What happened here? Thomas had an off. Let's look at that. See what happened. So, oh, there you go. Yeah, he caught the curb, the sausage there, and he went off. But he was able to recover, so that was good to see. So now Shannon got an opportunity. What happened, Jonathan? Jonathan pits. He just went through there, maybe just to... my guess is that he did that just to atone for his the advantage he got earlier. That's my guess. So there we go. Chris Bourne in the lead now, so Derek has work to do. Yeah, Jonathan is still on track though, so that's nice. I guess he considers himself kind of out of kind of out of the championship, obviously, so he didn't want to interfere. So Facciona, Ajasai, welcome to the stream. This is eSeniors Championship. We are racers 50 years and older. So if you are that as well, check us out. I'm gonna just put the link there in the chat if you want to see what we're all about. Also want to take the opportunity to thank our sponsors, Sendeo and Sim3D, helping us to keep this running. Oh, here we see Jonathan passing Joe. Possibly had a problem. So Jonathan gonna drive up the field there. I'm sure we're gonna see him up in the top. So Derek is slowly but surely reeling in Chris Bourne. He's lapping faster. He had 3/10 faster. And these two guys, Chris and Derek, they are so even all the time. So their average times are always very, very even across average times across the race. So it's a 40-minute race today. There's no pit stop. We have 26 minutes left. And Derek has won the 5 last races, and Chris have been P2 in the last 5 races. So very, very even between these guys. It's a 12-race championship, so we have 5 more races after this. And what's the next one? Let me look that up. I'm gonna look up what's the next race. We have Monza. Okay, that's Watkins Glen. That's gonna be fun. I've been practicing a lot. Back to Watkins Glen. That's how you say it. Oh, look at that! Bird is half 0.5 after, so he's reeling him in. Let's get on in his cockpit. Yeah, so I'm doing a endurance race tomorrow, Watkins Glen. Start to drive 7 a.m. in the morning. My first stint, and then my second stint's gonna be 9 a.m. We're racing the Audi. Keeping an eye on Pornoff as well. He's kind of getting up to speed. Yeah, Bird is reeling him in. Let's see. Pornoff, let me remind myself where he was. Yeah, he's okay, so P11 in the championship. Pornoff, he's a really good driver. He hasn't really participated in this championship though. He's done 2 races. Yeah, 2 races so far. But he can certainly challenge these guys, so. But Derek has been pulling away in the points as he has been ahead of Chris. So he has 332 points and Chris has 310. And Jeremy Arobas sits in P4. That would be a good result for him. He was P5 in the last 2. Oh, we're getting closer, Derek. Very equal in pace the last lap. Oh, yeah, I think he's going to catch him. Like I said earlier, interesting, this is such a high-speed track, and all the cars have the same performance, so it's only about just who has the best lines, who has the best setup. And speed-wise, Torrance is the fastest in the speed trap. He has 280 kilometers. If you compare that to Chris Bourne, he has 271 kilometers. So Torrance is driving fast, but he doesn't get the performance. Or he doesn't equate to performance around the track, which is interesting. Oh, looks like Derek went a little bit wide, but he is catching up. Scrubbing the tires as he comes into Parabolica. And don't miss the podium interview. We're gonna have a podium interview. The chicane is great. Just to be really patient. Here's another patient corner. Gets a good run out of there. Setting up for Les Moore 2. This is the closest we have right now. We have Jonathan too. He's coming through. Side by side. Is it gonna stick? Yeah. Very nice racing. Jonathan in P6. Oops, cutting that. It was he had a very good start. We thought, but he kind of missed the braking point into turn 1. Went a little hot in there. He started on pole position. Oh, yeah, I think something happened here. Derek is passing. Oh, I need to get back to that. Look at the replay. Oh, Derek missed that completely. Wow. So, that wasn't good. He could get, maybe, he got the penalty for that. I'm not sure. He has to go back to the drawing board now. Yeah, I said about Jonathan there. He was he started in pole. I had a very unfortunate first turn, so he kind of just had to abandon the turn and went straight. And got a good advantage there, which he then surrendered by doing a drive-through in the pits. So that's why we see him driving up the field now. So right now he's in P6. I think he's going to be able to climb up to maybe P4 even, where we have Jeremy right now. So Derek goes back to try to rebuild. I wouldn't be surprised if he catches Chris. So Derek has the fastest time right now, 150.5. So that's just behind Chris' best time of 150.6. So here we see Derek is already catching up. Let's flip over to Jonathan, just about to pass Thomas on the straight. Getting the inside line. I don't think Thomas gonna do too much of a fight. Very nicely done there. Oh, Jonathan got on, but he got on the throttle really quick there. Yeah, that's one thing in this. You have to know who is faster than you. And if you have one of the real top drivers coming up from behind, I never stand in a way because I don't want to fight that, because I'm gonna lose position or I lose time by doing a fight which is not where my fight is, so to speak. I'm kind of a midfield driver, so that's my strategy. Let's see if Derek can come back. Ponov is back there. He's kept the same. He's a little bit faster actually than these two guys right now. Just comes to his last lap time. In P4 we have Jeremy. Kind of a little lonely race. He has Ponov 18 seconds behind him, and he has Jonathan coming up behind. So we're probably gonna see Jonathan visiting with Arobas. Jonathan is lapping in 150 point, actually a low. He would have had the fastest lap had he not disqualified that particular lap. So he has a great pace. So he's gonna catch Jeremy here before too long. Looked like Derek was losing pace. And here behind Jonathan we had Thomas in P6. Seems like he's catching up a little bit with Jonathan. Then we have Shannon. He's a little bit in no man's land. 6 seconds behind Thomas, and behind him is Howard. 3 seconds behind. So there we have Howard in his blue, red and white. 10 seconds behind him we have Joe Bekavak. And 7 seconds behind him we have Torrance bringing up the rear. Yeah, that unfortunate off earlier in the race. Jonathan is losing time all of a sudden. He must have had a little issue. Glad to see him on track though. He's been sidelined for quite a while now. Oh, he's going wide there. It's one of the places where you can get the track penalty. Coming into less than 14 minutes. And Derek is now catching up again. Very even times, 151.2 on both of these drivers. Let's follow Derek's cockpit for a little bit. Again, my money is on Derek. I think he's gonna be able to take him. He's been up there a couple of times. I don't know why he hasn't been able to close the deal. Ponov is not gonna be threatening. He has not been able to get, although Ponov was actually lapping faster than these two guys his last lap, so but it doesn't really look like he's doing any inroads. It's very kind of uneven over his lap times. Goes through in 4th gear there. You have to be really careful. You're going on those curbs, and it seemed to have gained a lot of time there on Bourne. Keeping an eye on Jonathan. He's coming up to visit with Robas. Jump into his car and see what he's doing. Coming into Parabolica, see how he goes through there. Get an advantage on Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy was wobbling a little bit on braking. Need to go up to Derek. Looks like he's really bringing it in. Keeping an eye on Jonathan as well. Jump between these two guys. Here comes Jonathan on the inside into turn 1. Yeah, nice. He's taking that very nicely. And flip back to Derek. Coming into the Lesmo. Second Lesmo. Yeah, it really looks like he's ready to pounce. Great driving. Really pushing now. Should be close enough to get a little bit of slipstream coming through Parabolica if they can keep it. If they can keep it like this, it's going to be able to take him on the straight, I'm pretty sure. Gonna go on an inside line. Also, we're only 10 minutes left, so maybe the tires are starting to get a little bit tired. Is he going to be able to reach him here? No, it doesn't look like it. How Chris is doing. Yeah, Derek got a good run through there. Hornoff is losing time behind them, so he's not going to be a threat. Not anytime soon. Yeah, Derek was definitely faster the last lap. Reminder again, subscribe and like, and if you subscribe you get notified when we go live. Our next broadcast gonna be on tomorrow. It's going to be the Group 1 split. I'm not able to stream Group 2, so Mike Maleski going to do the Group 1 as usual at 1:30 Central Time, US Central Time. Patient coming through. You hear it slide a little bit on the tires. Look at him working that wheel. See how he's doing braking coming into the first chicane. Yellow flag on Torrance. Went probably off a little bit. Oh, he's coming close. Good exit. Still keeping up with Chris. It's all about being patient here. Nice and steady coming through there. That's my one. Oh yeah, Chris is feeling the pressure. Derek had to pull back a little bit. Oh, had to adjust a bit. Going wide, lost a little bit of time. Maybe he got a track warning. Let's see what type of times they are clocking. Derek had an invalid lap on timing there, but yeah, very close. Slight advantage to Chris on that lap. Now he's really up on Chris. I think if Derek passes Chris, he's gonna get the good. Oh, he almost lost it. What a save! Great save, but he didn't really lose any time there because Chris went a little bit wide, so that kind of canceled it out. He's still keeping the distance to him. Jonathan is now up in P4. I think that's where he's gonna stay. He's like 18 seconds up to Mirsch, so that's not gonna happen unless there's some sort of something happening with Hornoff. Here we go. Chris have the inside track into Parabolica. Is Derek gonna do an over and under? Oh, he got a little wobble. Have to regroup. That was very, very close. He could have done it there. I don't know if he got eager. Just wanted to cut under Chris. That cost him. Need to go back to the drawing board. Less than 5 minutes remains of the race. Oh, a little slide again by Derek. Wonder if his tires are starting to get compromised. I have a little graphic I'm updating here while we're talking to use at the podium interview with the P1, P2, P3, and it's a little bit early to put that one together. Although now Chris seems to have the momentum. Eric was really pushing. It's hard when you have when you're almost there and you go in and you get that type of little wobble and you kind of lose the whole momentum. Oh, less than 3 minutes. Jonathan clocked the fastest lap. Great return by Jonathan on this track. Great to see after being sidelined for injury. Yeah, Derek is pushing. He's going to push into the end. It's going to be really a fight to the end. He had climb up now. Such drama. Is he going to be able to recover all the time that he lost on his little wobble in Parabolica? He comes through Parabolica again. Seems a little bit more unsure of himself as he comes through there. He has less than 1 minute. This is the last lap. Howard goes off. Yellow flag on Howard. Let's follow these two guys. Pornoff gonna sit in P3, no question about that. Oh, Chris has big problems coming through. So now Derek, what drama? Here's Derek. He's gonna be able to do this. This is the last lap, folks. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. So close, so close. Both of them coming through. Chicane, nicely. Maybe a slight advantage to Chris, but here comes Derek. Derek looks on the inside, coming through Lesmo. It's very, very close. So if something happens, they need to have a good run out of Ascari. And it might be decided in the very last turn, who knows? Here we go, Variante Ascari coming in here, turn 8, 9 and 10. Coming in through 10. Good run by Derek, goes a little bit wide, come out on the AstroTurf. Probably lost a little bit of time coming up to Lesmo. Or sorry, Parabolica, let's see. Chris is he's parking on the inside. He's fanning out a little bit to give Derek a little bit more hard time to turn. Oh, Derek is up there a little bit on the curb. Oh, he lost momentum from that big time. Good defensive drive by Chris. And that's the checkered flag. Chris Bourne took it. Derek P2, Pornoff P3, Jonathan up to P4 with the fastest lap of the race, 150.450. Jeremy Robas P5. And Thomas P6. Here's Thomas. Shannon is going to come out into P7. Yeah, what drama here in the last moments. I'm going to pull in these guys for an interview. Here we go. There's my graphic. Let's get the groove on while I am pulling in some guys for the interview. Stand by. Derek in here. There's Pornoff. I'm going to pull in Jonathan too. Great to see you on track again, Jonathan. Are you feeling well? Gonna see if Mr. Bourne will come into the booth as well, if I see him. Still waiting for Bourne.
All right, cheers, you guys. Okay,
Hey.
thanks.
Yeah, bye.
It's no worse for wear.
Yeah, great. So, what a race. Let's start. Maybe we start with Jonathan. I was so excited to see you there, Jonathan, doing, pole position. But then you had turn one there, and I think you surrendered that by going into the pits, right? Because you kind of got an advantage there in the beginning. Oh, okay. We don't have him anymore. Let's see what happens. That's the. Oh, there's Chris. Hey, Chris. Chris Bourne. All right, Mirsch. Can you hear me? Mirsch. Can you hear me, Mirsch?
Congrats, Steve.
Hey, can you hear me at all, guys? Hello? Oh, sorry. I think I know what the problem is. I don't think they can hear me for some reason. Can you guys hear me at all? Hello?
Krista.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys, or you can't hear me. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Cheers, Derek, and giving the time back.
Yeah. It's only fair doing that.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit rude earlier.
Yeah, well, the first time I missed it, I was looking, seeing where Terry was, and it was the second she came on it the first time I did it. I was looking, Terry was right at me, bumper, so I looked to see where I was, and I missed the breaking point. And then second time, I was tight whether I'd make it or not, but I didn't want to try and make the corner and then take you out, so I just sent it across the grass.
Yeah.
I couldn't quite see the break point, and
I got a text chat pop up right at the last, as I went into that last.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, it's just put.
Yeah.
It's a break and looked at cut track. No, that's a text chat. What the hell's that? Terry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have them turned off because they are distracting.
Yeah, it popped up right as I was going into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a track warning once come on. It was at Hungaroring. And I looked to see if it was me, and then it was, and I missed my break point in front. Can't remember who it was now, but it's him because looking at the message.
Yeah, I don't know why these guys actually can hear me.
Just breaking the thing, stopping it in the apex, and just holding you back.
Yeah.
Was it about the laps? It was just about hitting the braking markers.
Yeah. You're going to have to make a mistake for me to get by. That's the way I'm going to do it. You had a bit more speed in the straight, but
I took some wing off. I took some wing off for.
Yeah.
You're all going to be the same speed in the corners. Just take some wing off, be a bit adventurous.
Yeah. Just couldn't get close enough to try and make a pass in the corners, but so I thought we'd have to wait for a mistake.
Yeah, sacrifice corner speed for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally figured out. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I had the wrong microphone aside, so I'm glad you're keeping the conversation going. So, I mean, what an interesting race. I mean, we had Jonathan took the, pole, and I think he surrendered that by going into the pits.
Yeah, they drive through, didn't he?
Yeah. So, I don't know if that was actually a penalty or he just did that on himself.
No, he got a penalty.
I missed that completely.
Cut track turn one straight through the chicane turn one.
Took okay.
3 or 4 second lead.
Oh, so he got a penalty directly from that one then. Yeah. Oh, I didn't pick that up. And Pornoff, you got Mirsch, you got the P3 there. That's cool.
It is. I didn't expect anything.
Yeah.
I didn't drive this car for 3 or 4 weeks, and I just joined to have good time. I was expecting only to finish the race, nothing else.
Yeah.
But when I see, I was surprised. I was fast for my standards. Mm-hmm. Really good race.
Yeah. And then between you guys, Mr. Bird and Mr. Bourne, it's like you've been so dominating, Derek, and this time you were so close, and like this penultimate lap, I think you had a little wobble, and then you kind of lost the momentum. But then in the last, I mean, I thought this would be like a drag race down down to the finish line, it almost ended up like that. So
Yeah, I'm just saying Chris took a bit wing off, so he had a little bit more straight line speed.
yeah, and because that's so
catch him.
interesting with these cup races, because you have the same spec, so it's all about your
Yeah.
lines and your setup. So the setup was the advantage here on Chris then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's hard to pass. So once I say when he was in front, it was hard to get near him to make any passes.
Yeah.
Unless I made a mistake and cut the corners like I did a couple of times.
Yeah. All right,
But yeah,
that's
great race
awesome.
weekend,
Yeah, congratulations everyone. So I appreciate it. Great entertainment.
Thanks.
All right,
Christian.
thank you,
Well
guys.
done, Merch. Just want to say, congrats, Derek. You're going to be the worthy champion, mate. So that's me bailing out now, mate. I think so.
Yeah, I'm going to miss the battles,
get
Chris.
back, I don't know. Might get
Yeah,
back
well, I
in.
hope you
Don't know.
know.
Oh, you're not
Yeah,
going to
so-
race?
No, I can't race after next week. So yeah, I won't be around.
Yeah, it's a
okay.
great shame that. Yeah, I'm certainly going to miss some battles.
Yeah.
Been great.
All right, guys. Have a
Okay,
good
then.
weekend. See you later.
Right, thank you.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's the standings for or the results for Porsche Cup Monza, and tomorrow you can watch the Group 1 race at 1:30 p.m. We won't stream the Group 2. So Chris Bourne, congratulations, Derek Bird and Pornoff P3. So have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.